Can we please just discuss the fact that Optimus Prime is a legitimate psychopath? Look, I get it, the fate of many worlds are often at stake, but this dude deliberately takes the time to warn his enemies about how violently he's going to kill them, and then follows up on that promise.
You die! And if you don't know, now you know.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, buckle up because the Autobots are rolling out. Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and many more are steaming into cinemas for another explosive and hopefully exciting action-packed adventure with Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Anthony Ramos plays Noah, a young man doing what he can to look after his family. But when he ends up face to face with a group of Autobots, led by Optimus Prime, it soon leads him on a dangerous path. Alongside historical investigator Elena, played by Dominique Fishback, and the Autobots, they run into the Maximals, a group of Transformers who have taken the shape of animals, as all parties must unite to fend off against Unicron and his second-in-command, Scourge. It's been a while since the Transformers graced us with their presence on the big screen, and to say that their history has a bit of a rocky past, well, that's quite the understatement. I'm in the camp of actually having a lot of fun watching the Michael Bay films. I'd say the first, third, and fourth ones are just the epitome of mindless, adrenaline-infused entertainment. Revenge of the Fallen and The Last Knight, I don't hate them, but they are undoubtedly the weakest. As for Bumblebee, I just think that movie is so damn sweet and enjoyable. It tones a lot of the Bay-isms down, and as a result, emerged almost universally loved. So with Rise of the Beasts, I felt like it was going to be a flip of the coin as to which version of the Transformers we're going to get. Was it going to be an over-the-top, explosion-filled extravaganza akin to Michael Bay, or was it going to be the more family-friendly, cartoonish adventure that we saw from Bumblebee? Well, in short, it's actually a mixture of both. And I wound up really enjoying Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Starting with the characters, Rise of the Beasts does a solid job at getting you invested in the humans. Noah, who's played by Anthony Ramos, is a guy with a bit of a troubled past, but desperate to help provide for his family and to care for his unwell brother. Now, sure, it's a bit of a worn-out character trope, but Ramos's charm really makes it work. And honestly, I think he's got all the makings to be a very successful leading man in Hollywood. Dominique Fishback plays Elena, who is a little less compelling than Noah, but still written well enough that her inclusion in the film never feels forced. She's a temp at an archaeological museum, but has the tenacity to delve further into these mysterious artifacts that she comes across. Fishback is good here. There's a couple of lines that are pretty flat in terms of their delivery, and her character does suffer from occasionally pointing out the bloody obvious all of the time. But that's only because she is deemed the most intellectual, so she has to get everyone else up to speed. Shifting gears over to our Robots in Disguise, it is always a pleasure to hear Peter Cullen voice Optimus Prime, and here Optimus gets his own arc and opportunity for growth as a leader, which I appreciated. Bumblebee is a standout as always and got some of the biggest cheers from the press screening I saw it with, and we get a couple of new Autobots too. Pete Davidson voices Mirage, I thought that he was a really quippy character and had quite a wholesome relationship with Noah that has made Mirage one of the more memorable Transformers in quite a while. On the villainous side of things, we have Unicron, a character I have been waiting for this series to visit, to get to, and this really didn't disappoint. He is very much a background player, but Colman Domingo's voice is so gravelly and commanding, Unicron pops on screen. And if they were to do more set within this exact time period and more to do with Unicron, I'm not opposed to it whatsoever. As for the more on-the-ground kind of villain, Peter Dinklage voices Scourge, one of Unicron's lackeys, who is so badass that he will decimate anyone who is in his way and will collect their insignia after the kill. I thought the Scourge was a great imposing villain and more than made for a genuine threat to our heroes. Also introduced in this film are the Maximals, giant robotic creatures that have taken the form of animals when they have come to our world in hiding. Ron Perlman, he voices Optimus Primal. It's not the most creative of names, but he's a pretty badass character. And Michelle Yeoh voices Air Razor. I wonder how that conversation went down with her. I can't believe it, I've won my first ever Oscar. I wonder what roles will await me in the future now. Hey, Michelle, we've got you down for a potential voice role in the new Transformers film. You're gonna voice a giant metallic flying bird called Air Razor. Are you in? Michelle, you in? I'm gonna put you down that you're in. Thank you. Jokes aside though, the Maximals are really, really cool, and when they throw down, they kick ass. Now, one thing that is worth mentioning at this point in time, for those of you who don't know about the Transformers films, you're probably hearing a lot of these words that I'm spouting and thinking, this sounds ridiculous, this sounds beyond stupid. My response is, yes, it is ridiculous. It is really quite silly when I'm spouting Unicron, Maximals, Air Razor, Optimus Prime. The property of Transformers is fundamentally silly. It just is. But I used to watch the Saturday morning cartoon shows. I was obsessed with them as a kid, and now getting to see them in live action and being treated like an epic property, it's fun. I have so much fun normally watching these movies, and I had a lot of fun watching Rise of the Beasts. As for the elements, though, that I wasn't too keen on, I've got to say that the visual effects this time around, they weren't all that impressive. Everything from a distance actually looks pretty good, but it's only when you get up close to the Transformers themselves that you realize that this just isn't as good as it probably should be. I actually think that the effects in the 2007 film, the very first one, directed by Michael Bay, were significantly better. And maybe prepare yourself for a couple of hokey lines of dialogue here and there. I mean, come on. It is a Saturday morning cartoon come to life. We're not exactly talking an Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay right now. All of that being said, when it comes to the finale, Stephen Caple Jr. definitely went hell for leather and basically gave us a giant battle between the Autobots with the Maximals and Scourge and Unicron's army. This thing was so much fun. It has so many rapturous moments that had our press screening legitimately cheering. Honestly, it might be my favorite third act of any of the Transformers movies so far. Plus, you can actually see what's going on. The direction is very clear. It's not like the Michael Bay movies where it's just chaos and those white sparky explosions filling the screen. You can see the action. I love that that's a compliment. I should put that on the posters. Transformers, Rise of the Beasts. You can see the action this time. And when it comes to the ending of the film, no spoilers here of course, but when it comes to the very end of the film and what they are setting up moving forward, it makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever, and it is probably going to blow up in their face entirely. In fact, I don't even think it's going to happen. I don't know if this movie is going to make enough money for it to possibly even be a consideration. However, I will do whatever it takes. I will buy as many freaking tickets for this movie as I need to make sure that what they set up at the end of this film actually happens. I was so freaking excited, and it is so stupid. Whether you're a Bayformers fan or a Bumblebee fan, there is plenty to enjoy with Transformers Rise of the Beasts. The character work is significantly better than past films, and the smash 'em crash 'em action is perfect for big screen entertainment. Pair that with a great choice of setting it in the 90s along with a hip soundtrack, and a well-defined 3-act structure, capping it all off with a banger of a climax, and you have one very happy Transformers fan right here. So I'm going to give Transformers Rise of the Beasts an 8.5 out of 10. Anyway guys, those were my thoughts on Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Let me know, have you had a chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. But my question to you, I would like to know, who is your favourite Transformer? I'm going to be easy here. I'm going to let you give your favourite Autobot and your favourite Decepticon. Now for me, favourite Autobot, gotta be Optimus Prime. You can't top the OG. In terms of Decepticon, I always really thought that Starscream, even though he's basically bullied by Megatron the entire time, but he had the most badass transformations. He turned into a freaking fighter jet. I really liked Starscream when I was a kid. But that is all we have time for here today, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.